late trying to get used to the whole YouTube live component. But we're here on a Sunday. Let me just see if I can pull up some things on the laptop and let everybody know that we're here. And forgive me, I'm going to be sniffling again because it has not gone away yet. Let me see. Today is part 3. Hey Nora, hey Beatrice, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am feeling, oh my goodness, so under the weather. Hey Chastity. Okay. Do you all have your supplies? Are you all caught up? I actually am not. I have to do an arm. I did the other leg. I didn't actually finish. Hey Patricia. I didn't finish the other arm. Yeah, I'm trying to log into my Facebook account from my laptop, and it's giving me verification steps. But are y'all good? Y'all good? Are we here? I'm not going to keep you very long. I don't know why. Okay. I'm telling you, these devices. Okay. I don't know what that means. But anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome to the My Kind of Thing University. May Imbali Crochet Together, part 3. We've already done part 1 and part 2 live. I wonder. Yeah. I'm getting all kinds of notifications. Hold on 1 second. Let me. There we go. All right. Are you all caught up? Are you all caught up with your pieces? By now you should have your body, right? Head and body. And you should also have your limbs. Now, what the? Okay. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, here we go. So, I have her feet and legs and her body, and I am behind a little bit. I have one arm, I mean. So I'll be working on the other arm after this live. But yeah, I'm trying to do a lot in a small amount of time. So, you know, we're just getting it together. Hey, Peggy. So, if you are new here, my name is Aniqua, and I am the artist and designer behind My Kind of Thing, a handmade company that specializes in one-of-a-kind handmade dolls, particularly dolls of color, and even more specifically, black and brown dolls. And you know what? I was going to post in the group, but I am like So congested. Oh my gosh. There we go. I don't know how to I don't know what this is. I don't even know if it's allergies or not. I just know that it's kicking my butt a little bit. And so we are going to proceed because today we are doing the wig cap, I believe, ears, and wig cap and hair. Yes, wig cap and hair. I'm trying to get to, and we're not gonna, I'm not gonna keep you for a long time. Just wanna make sure that we're crocheting together and we're all on task. How many of you are currently in good standings, not a delinquent? I feel a way because I am kind of a delinquent in that I have one arm that needs to be made, and my work table is a mess. It's an absolute mess. So, but we gonna work it out anyway. So for this design, I decided that I wanted to do her hair in the fudge drizzle. So we're gonna be using fudge drizzle, and I just realized we have to do the ears because I can't do the wig cap without the ears. And I actually chose. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna work on the ears first. And because I have to place the ears first in order to properly position the wig cap. That is the method that I use. Are y'all with me? Do me a favor. Take a moment, if you feel so inclined, to hit the like button on this live video. Because I believe that liking the video brings more attention to the cool stuff that we do over here. So for the ears, we are using a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. And shout out to Chastity Stanley. Straight pins. Excuse me. I'm telling you, I am just, I don't know. It was bad on Friday, and then it eased up yesterday, and now it's getting worse than it was on Friday. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that's about. Hopefully I'll be all right in the next couple of days. But yeah, we're gonna get started. Let's see. So ears, we're gonna go up to ears. Yeah, because we're doing ears, and I didn't put ears, but we're doing ears, wig cap, and hair. Now the trick about hair is that I don't know which hairstyle y'all are doing. Everybody's probably choosing their own hairstyle, so that is kind of open-ended. But basically for the ears, you're going to take whatever yarn you used for the skin tone, and you're going to have your 2.75 millimeter hook, and we are going to pretty much follow the pattern and create our ears. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? How do you find this pattern so far? Any difficulties, anything that's kind of confusing, or maybe, not so straightforward? Let's see. These ears are kind of little. It's so funny. I do ears kind of differently almost every design. No, we're not attaching them today. We're just creating them today, Lisa. We're we're actually just creating the pieces because on the last day we'll attach all the pieces, and for that part, I think I'm gonna have the ears that are hardest for you. What's hard about it? Because you know a lot of people say that. There's a lot of people that struggle with ears. Which part? Is it placement? Is it creating them? Which part? Because maybe I can give a little bit more insight into dealing with that. I know that a lot of people, quite a few people, have a little bit of difficulty with ears. And here's the thing. There was a time when I didn't do them. Okay, niece. Do you crochet too? I cannot with you. Is this your way of trying to come into the live incognito? So that depends on how you do it, right? How do I explain? Because they're done the same. It's just the way you end and the way you start should look so similar that you should not be able to tell the difference. No, you know what, Zay? Thank you for asking. I'm feeling more congested than... It was weird because remember Friday, I felt congested and, you know, had the runny nose. Yesterday, I felt a little bad during the morning, but by the evening, I was fine. I thought I was getting better. There's no way you could do that, Tammy. And so I'm thinking, last night, I'm like, oh, okay, so this was just a little whatever, it's fine. Today, I feel bad again. And it feels worse today than it was on Friday because I'm sneezing now. Before it was like just runny nose and, you know, whatever. But now it's runny nose and sneezing. So I'm thinking maybe it's allergies. I don't know. But I have too much to do to be sick. And yeah, so I am fighting this. I am fighting it. And I am, you know. Okay, so here's the thing about the ears, right? The way I do the ears is when you fasten them off, and I need to start writing down like videos that I need to do on YouTube, even quick ones. Yeah, my problem is I don't take medicine. Like I have an aversion to any kind of medicine, even medicine that's common that people are like, oh, it's no big deal. You know, I think the last time I felt extremely ill as it related to what might have been allergies, and I mean this had been years ago. This is, you know, years ago. I took Benadryl and it made me feel... It stopped the issue, but it gave me other issues. Like, okay, my nose wasn't running anymore, but my sinuses and everything had gotten so dried out that it hurt to breathe. And that was its own other issue, aside from the fact that I felt extremely, extremely sleepy and exhausted. So, and I was like, okay, we're not doing that. I don't know, I opt out of medicine most times. And I'm rarely sick. And even when I am sick, I'm sick for a short period of time. It's not like a long extended period of time. Except for over the winter in the, I believe February, I was down. I had never been so sick as an adult. Okay, so this is one ear. And so here's how it works. Left ear, right ear. For the most part, it's the same. It's just the changing of the position. That's why it's done the same twice. There's no left or right version of it. You know, you just, this is for one side, this is for the other side. Okay, and I'm gonna do one more because, you know, she has to have 2 ears. And then we're gonna pin them, and we pin the ear based on, we'll pin the ear based on the position of the belly button. You know, the belly button, where we have the belly button serves as the center of the doll design. So can y'all hear me okay? Because I feel like part of my congestion, I don't know how loud or how low I am. Okay, so I won't be able to send you the pattern. If you literally just purchased it, I won't be able to send it until after the live is over. But welcome. Are you excited to create with us? Because we're crocheting together. Yeah, that's what I do, Zay. Yeah, it's usually tea, some sort of tea or something. Awesome. Is this your first time joining with us, Butterroll Boutique? Or are you a current MKTU alumni? Because I know that everybody's names change in different platforms. So are you, okay, good. Because I'm like, I don't know how low or how loud I am. Because like I said, I'm congested, and so I'm like, one ear is kind of like clogged, it feels. I'm telling you, 43 got me falling apart. I am like trying to hold it together. This year has been roughing me up in all different ways. But we're working on ears. Oh, and you know what? I feel like the camera's not low enough. I'm gonna see some of my messy table, but it is what it is. Yeah. Because I was cutting lips and things yesterday, and yeah, I had a whole bunch of stuff on this table. But yes, we are doing what it do. And yeah, I'm actually excited about this one. It's so funny to have done the design now. Oh, you know what else? So I think I mentioned that I'm packing and whatnot because I'm in the processes of moving. I knew I had a whole bag of sunglasses for 18-inch dolls that I had ordered years ago. And I remember when I went to go look for them again for this design, to get the sunglasses in different colors and whatnot, it was, you know how when you use Amazon and, you know, something is no longer available, it basically is no longer available. That's where I had gotten all those eyes and stuff from. I mean, those glasses and stuff from. And so I was like, now I have a bag of sunglasses, right? From the Build-A-Bear workshop and from Children's Place, because I get infant and toddler sunglasses, right? Because they're really cool. And they fit some of my doll designs. So if you are making the bigger dolls, not the 18-inch dolls, but the bigger ones, like Aisha, or for those of you who have been here with us from the beginning, if you have the original My Kind of Thing University doll design, basically those glasses fit that size design really, really well. So I had a bag of those shades, and I thought that I had put the 18-inch doll shades with them, but I hadn't. But upon moving things around and packing things up, guess what? I found them, and the thing about it is I knew I had orange heart-shaped sunglasses. I knew I had yellow. I knew I had green glasses, but not heart-shaped. And so when I found them, I was like, oh, serendipity. And so now you see how I was taking pictures and you only saw 3 of the 6 with shades, because those were the only shades that I had that matched their color scheme, right? So now my orange girl got her glasses, and I'm gonna show y'all in a second, and my girl in yellow got her shades. Now here's the thing, they're slightly smaller. The glasses are slightly smaller than the ones that I recently purchased. They fit, but they're slightly smaller. And it's so funny how things change up over time. You're currently delinquent. Oh, okay. What's your name on Facebook? Oh my goodness. Forgive me for blowing my nose on camera. So that I know who you are. Because like I said, everybody changes from platform to platform. So here's the thing. So there were no green shades, but there are these green glasses. And I still gotta give her her eyes and stuff. But the reason why I haven't put her eyes, oh shoot, she has on her outfit. I wasn't supposed to show y'all that. I tell you, I am out of it. I forgot I put all of their clothes on. Oh, okay. That's how y'all know, man. I just can't wait till this packing is over. Ta-da! Orange shades. So she's really gonna be styling once I have her beads on her hair and all of that wonderful stuff. So yeah, let's see. Here we go. Have you all looked over the pattern? And has anybody started on the clothes yet? My name, Aniqua, means gift of God's favor. It is a Hebrew, it's a derivative of the Hebrew name Anika. And it means gift of God's favor in Hebrew. You started on the skirt, what do you think? Oh no, you know, I realized Friday I gave one too much attention, and I realized, you know, we're gonna do like how we used to do back in the Periscope days. I don't even acknowledge them. I just hit the block button or the hidden button. We don't even talk to them. Okay. So we got our ears, and like I said, they're pretty much the same. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to pin them using the belly button as like a midpoint. You know, this is how you kind of determine the middle of the doll. You know, you stay on theme, on task by using the belly button as the definite midpoint. Thank you, Chastity. And I'm going to use the straight pins to kind of pin them. Now, for this design, the ears are, I want to say, maybe kind of low. I don't know. It really just depends on how I feel. Sometimes I put them in a place, and then once I make the wig cap, I move them further down or further up. It really just depends on what it looks like and how I feel about what it looks like. Like right now, this is kind of high. I may move them down once I create the wig cap. I'm not sure yet though. We'll see. But in making sure that the ears are properly placed, you want to use the stitches of the face like a grid. So I'm going to follow that row over to the other side, and using her belly button, I'm going to make sure that her ears are centered or placed properly where her belly button is the center. You know, you don't want to have her ears all the way in one space and then like, so look at this. I'm going to move this ear over a little bit further. And the thing is, right now, I can tell from looking at how I have the ears, they're kind of high. So I'm going to bring them down a row. You know, and that's the other thing. You know, before you start permanently attaching things, you get to decide where you want things to go without, you know, I don't like the permanent decisions without feeling like, okay, you know what, here we go. And so for now, I think this will work. The cool thing is that they're just holding in place. You know, they're not, nothing is etched in stone. As I create her wig cap and whatnot, I can determine whether or not they're positioned where I need them to be. But we're going to use the belly button as like the midpoint. And it won't be perfectly middle, you know, don't worry about that. We don't really focus on perfection here like that. You know, we get as close to the center as possible. So yeah. Ta-da! And so now we can move on to the wig cap. And the thing is, we're going to do the wig cap here on camera. But because you all are probably choosing your own hairstyles and things, we're going to do that off camera. And we're going to be ready by Friday, because that's when our next session is. I believe Friday the 30th, that is, I think. Yeah. So here's my brown sugar. And she's going to have, not brown sugar, my fudge drizzle. She's going to have fudge drizzle hair. And basically, using the same size hook that we used to create her body and her limbs, we're going to be using the same hook for her wig cap. And funny enough, the wig cap is made the same as the head for rows 1 through 14. So whatever you did for the head, you'll be doing the same thing for the wig cap up into row 14. Now here's the thing. Do not be discouraged if your tension makes it so that the wig cap is a little bit longer than it needs to be. Just take a row off. If it's shorter than it needs to be, add a row to it. You can make that adjustment because sometimes our tension changes. And the other thing is, if you're using a yarn that is not my kind of string yarn and it's slightly thinner or slightly thicker, that also can make it so that it's slightly shorter or longer or bigger than, you know, you may want it to be, and you make those adjustments for that. I feel so congested, oh my gosh. But we're gonna make it happen. Anybody have any questions? And that's the funny thing. It's so funny. You're being good and following along with the class. So no skipping for really. So you telling me, Tammy, that you're not delinquent? I don't know. That's what you telling me? I ain't seen no pictures in the My Kind of String group. So I don't know. I don't know. We got some overachievers though. We do have some folks that are that are participating, that are really, really like showing out. Shout out to Patricia Patterson. I think she's working on 3. Quite a few people are working on multiples at the same time. I'm like, oh, excuse me. Excuse me. But it's cool. I'm actually excited about this one. I'm excited about all of them because my other thing is once I've finished creating all of them, I'm gonna hold you to it, Tammy. I'm gonna be like, when Friday come, I'm gonna be like, Tammy, where you at? Killer, where you at? Oh my gosh. But I'm excited because I'm working on so many, I have so many, I'm gonna have them all done, right? I want to do a whole fun photo shoot, like a really cool photo shoot of all of them together, like properly photographed and everything. So that's gonna be really exciting. And then did I mention to you all, as a little extra, I want to make them tulle skirts for underneath their outfit. So I have the tulle all separated and everything. I just have to do the cutting and all of that. Yes, I have to write a list of things that I have to do in order for this design to be finished in a timely manner. But yeah, they're gonna look really good all together. And then this rainbow one, I'm telling you, I'm excited. Really, really excited. The kits are still available. You can still purchase the kit. I mean the companion pack. The reason why I don't call it a kit is because there's one component that I think if it were a kit, it should include, and that is the wooden dowel or the piece for the spine. Whenever I include that, it's a complete and total kit, and usually there's a project bag and everything. And it's been a while since I've been able to do that. But we're gonna get back to that as well. But there are still people purchasing the companion pack. There are still some companion packs available. So, it's not too late. We just shipped off some orders yesterday, so they're definitely winding their way to you. And then the design for the next design, funny enough, I am struggling with what the hair is going to be. So there's that. But outside of that, so the head and shoulders are done of this design. I actually kind of got stumped on the body and the hair. And those things, they change so often when I'm like designing and thinking and trying to come up with really cool components. But we'll see, we'll see. But it's just the multitasking of it all, you know, transitioning and still trying to work and make sure things are in place, you know. But yeah, we gonna make it do what it do. It's so funny. I have such a hard time deciding sometimes when I have so many creative options. That's the other thing. You know, I think sometimes I accidentally overstimulate myself by having too many ideas at once, too many options at once, you know, and I wind up like getting flustered, which is crazy because it's like, come on, you know, it's like giving a kid too many choices and then the kid can't make a choice because it's overwhelming to make the decision. So yeah. Oh, I feel so like, oh, I hate being, you know, under the weather. Because it just feels like everything just slows down. And then the thing is, am I even doing this right? What's up? Yeah, okay. Over here like, but yeah, I promise these will get a little bit more lively. You know, because of what I'm doing, you know, behind the scenes and being under the weather, I'm like, oh. But I promise, not for nothing, if it wasn't for, you know, all of the strict guidelines that they have on, you know, YouTube and all of these platforms with music, we'd have like a little bit of music in the background, you know, there'd be a little bit of a sing-along, you know? So, but I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. I'm just fighting the urge to not be sneezing on camera. But when I tell you, I was fine last night. Like, I legit got some rest and was fine. Now, I'm like, oh, what is this? Okay, one more increase row, and then we can begin our descent. Anybody have any questions? Excuse me. I have to do it because, like I said, I am just like feeling super congested. And it's so annoying. Jeez. I think when people feel like this, do they cancel on stuff? I don't know. But definitely by Friday, I should be fine. Everything should be okay. Because this is just annoying. I think it might be allergies though. And the thing is, I don't usually get allergies. Not seasonal. Yeah, I do that usually every assembly video, but yeah, but basically there's no complication really to cutting it out. Once you've inserted it, you have to feel it at the top of the head in such a way where it touches, you can feel it at the top of the head, and you don't want it to exceed further than the base of the torso. You don't want it to be too long because it'll stretch out the neck, which will stretch out your stitches, and we don't do that here. We do not stretch out the stitches. And so I believe that there is an actual measured length as to how long the dowel has to be, but that all really depends on your tension and the yarn you use, because if you use a different yarn, then those measurements are different. But the basic way, and I do it every assembly video, I explain it. It's basically, you know, you just make sure it is the exact length from head to the bottom of the torso. You don't want it to be shorter, because if it starts to shift and move, your head won't be sturdy. So you have to make sure of that. But that length really depends on your tension. It depends on the yarn that you're using. And so that's why there's no set, not really a set length. I mean, it is and it isn't. If you're following the pattern, if you're using my yarn, then you are likely going to get the size that, you know, give or take a centimeter or two, depending on your tension. But if you're using a different brand of yarn, then that can vary a lot. And so, you know, it's one of the reasons why when you're doing a pattern or following a pattern, it is important to use the materials that the designer used. And I'm not just saying that because I use my yarn company's yarn, but because ultimately that's the way to get the best results for proportions and all that. And it just so happens that I have a really cool yarn company with really good yarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me just make sure. Yep, and now I can start my descent. Y'all with me? Okay. Here we go. Let me fix my stitch marker so that I don't have to keep moving it up. But yeah, for the most part, this is pretty straightforward. I'm really excited because I can see in my head what this design is going to look like. But yeah, the other cool thing is, like I said, for those of you who are new, who are just joining or trying to catch up, if you have any questions pertaining to the pattern, pertaining to the, you know, anything that is confusing, you can definitely message me here. You can message me on Facebook, or you can email me. And the coolest place to inquire, or one of the coolest places to inquire, is via Facebook, the My Kind of String Facebook group. It's not so much around it because that just keeps it from moving right to left. And technically, because of the width of the neck, it's not going to move horizontally. No amount of packing around it will change it from moving vertically. That's why the length is important, because remember, all yarn does stretch a little bit, or stretch over time. Acrylic, to me, stretches the least. Cotton stretches so much, I can't stand it. And what happens is you want to make sure that it is a good length, because it's going to stretch a little bit. but you don't want, you don't want it to be so long that it makes her neck look unnaturally long, because that's another thing. I've seen some folks make the dowel so long that now the length of the neck is extended and it looks strange. The other thing that you do when you they're all closed. As you're creating the head, you should be creating an entryway for the wooden dowel. Oh my goodness. As you're creating the head. As you're creating her head, excuse me, this is horrible. You want to make sure that you're creating that pathway while you're stuffing the head. And then one of the ways to do that is to insert the dowel as you're decreasing, getting down to the neck. By the time you get to the last decrease row before you start on the neck, you want to make absolutely sure. That you have it stuffed properly, because once you get down to this neck size, you don't want to be stretching the stitches out to try to get stuffing back up here. So it's really important that you manage that properly. And here's the thing, the width of this neck doesn't allow for stuffing and the wooden dowel to fit in here. For this design, the wooden dowel is the only thing that can kind of fit in here. You're not going to be able to get any stuffing around the wooden dowel. But then that leads you to the body. Again, making sure that there's a pathway for the wooden dowel as you're stuffing the body adequately. That's just really important, because it creates the pathway for the wooden dowel. But yeah, it takes practice and sometimes a little bit of focus to make sure that you get it right, and you just got to be patient with yourself. You got to make sure that you're not rushing through it. If it doesn't look right, work on it until it does. Like, adjust that stuffing until it does. Don't be upset if it's not something that you just get right the first time, right away. I find myself a lot of times adjusting and moving with my pinky, the stuffing around, to make sure that everything is as even and symmetrical as possible. So takes a little bit of time. What else? Let's see. It's so funny. My niece commented and then she disappeared. But yeah, is everybody here subscribed to the My Kind of Thing YouTube channel? Make sure you are a subscriber. Because this is going to be the place now that, like I said, Facebook has these little regulations where they're like, oh, no more live videos permanently sitting. I guess they're running out of server space or something like that. I always wondered about that, though. Like, all of those videos and things stored years and years and hours of video footage, and I'm a person who has lots of videos and lives, so I always wondered, like, what's the storage amount on it? So that was really interesting. But to now have to delete older videos, like, I figured, okay, they make this change, like it's a from now on kind of thing. But it's not even a from now on kind of thing. It's and your old videos, you better get them before we erase them. Like, that's so whack. But anyway, while I'm doing these rows that is kind of mindless, it doesn't require counting or anything, I want to take this moment, this opportunity to thank all of you for always showing up. You know, there's some of you that every time my kind of thing does a thing, y'all are there supporting and participating, and I really appreciate it. Sometimes I see what it looks like, how it's fitting so far. It kind of looks like an acorn. But know that we don't sit the wood cap like a hat. We kind of angle it, so, you know, but we still got some rows to go. But yeah, I want to take this time to thank you all for participating, even if you're not necessarily, you know, keeping up or even participating in the, excuse me, the Crochet Together. You know, I really appreciate you coming and hanging out for a session. You know, just coming in and looking at what we're doing. You know, we do really cool stuff here. One of my main objectives has always been to promote pride and confidence in children of color, particularly girls, and even more specifically Black and brown girls, and efforts to combat self-hate. If it weren't for the fact that I have the camera facing me and these letters are in backwards, you would see that there is an actual mission statement. What we do here is not just doll making. We are creating positive imagery, you know? We are creating dolls that represent real diversity. And for me, you know, I think sometimes it's important to share the diversity within being Black or Black American or African American or African, or, you know, just being a Black person. There is so much diversity within that diaspora. So doll making has allowed me to explore that and share that, you know, that we come in so many different shades with so many different cool features and hair textures, and just wanting to properly represent that has been really, really important. It has been my mission since I established my kind of thing in 2013. You know, I have always wanted to see, you know, these kinds of things, you know, myself reflected and the things that I love. I was a little girl who played with dolls for a long time. For a long time, technically, if we want to keep it real. I do not have any free patterns. I don't think. You got to check out this YouTube channel. Maybe there's something on here from a long time ago, but I've never really done free patterns because this is how I earn my living. I want to do a free doll pattern, but I just haven't decided what it would be and what it would entail. Because I know people love free stuff, but I'm a single woman living in New York. Free just don't really sit well financially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 2 more rows to, yeah. I don't know. There might be something free somewhere. I don't know. But I'm gonna be honest. If there is a thing, it's probably only one thing. Because it's just not realistic for me at this time. I'm working towards it though. Because I do think it also serves as a way to kind of show people who are maybe skeptical about purchasing certain things. Because that's the other thing. I don't know what other people are doing, but my prices are specific to who I am and what I do and how I do it and how it relates to this being my full-time job. So, but You don't have to take it from me. You can take it from my students who are often supporting in the comments, that have participated in everything from workshops to crochet alongs to what other things have we done? Full-on tutorials, live tutorials where from start to finish we're doing it on camera. Patterns and things that I've curated. You know what? It's funny because crochet has been therapy to me, and some of, like, I've gotten messages, really great messages from folks over the years, explaining. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna move the old videos to YouTube because YouTube is public, and those videos people purchased. Those of you who purchased access to those videos and that content, it would be unfair for you to have purchased it and then for me to put it in a place where people can view it for free. What I am gonna do, thank you, Daphne. What I am gonna do is I've been working on creating a Patreon, a membership, and putting those things in that space. If I'm gonna start the last step, it mentions go around the petals. Let me see, go around the petals. And there's a stitch count. I got a little lost trying to use that number. Okay, so for the skirt part, the first thing you do is you chain that. Don't worry about that chain, ignore it. It's just to move onto the sides of the petals. Each petal is 5 rows, right? If you're doing a skirt, there is 7 petals, which means 5 rows 7 times, which is 35, right? Yes. And so keep in mind, this is how you can make sure you're getting the right count if you're confused about what you're looking at. Because I know that for some of us, it's difficult to crochet on the side of your stitches. Each petal is 5 rows. So what you want to do is you want to just single crochet corresponding with each row, right? So yeah, so each row is 5 rows. I mean, each petal is 5 rows. That means 5 stitches. Once you got the 5 for that row, you move on to the next petal. 5, next petal, 5. Yeah, the thing is, and I know that I have to look into that. I really need somebody who's more tech savvy to manage that. Yeah, the thing about only people with the link, right, is that also gives people the link. You can give the link to somebody who didn't purchase. That's the other thing. Whereas the way that I've normally been able to do it is I have an attendance sheet. I know who belongs in the groups. It's like, you know, anybody who's in the group is there because they are on my attendance sheet, and I have put them in there by you all having the links. And not that I don't, you know, trust you or anything like that, but it's just, to me, that leaves too much for people who, you know, just didn't purchase. Because I remember one time, I had a person who purchased, she purchased access to a group, right? And she couldn't understand why she couldn't, like she had told some other people, oh, this is the group, this is the whatever, and she couldn't understand why her friends couldn't get in or something. And I was like, well, your friends didn't purchase it, you purchased it, you know, and having to explain that. And so the thing about having a link that people can just pass around for videos and access to content and information that is exclusive for purchasers and people who are genuinely interested in my kind of thing as a university. You have a section in your shop with pictures of your accessories and the cost of the items. So in my shop, right now it's just patterns. I have not sold accessories through my shop in years. A lot of times, even when I put dolls available in my shop, they get purchased right away. Every now and then there's a doll that sits in the shop for a little bit, but usually they get purchased. So, and I haven't put a design in the shop, and I need to do more of that. But with trying to run the yarn company, take on custom orders, and do the university component of my kind of thing, it is really, really hard. But I do want to make more finished products available in the shop because, you know, I believe half of the people, at least half of the people, probably more than half of the people on my mailing list aren't crocheters. They just want the finished product. But yeah, so I have to go in there and update some things. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay, and 14. Now, let's see how it's fitting on the head, because before I do that last row, I see what it fits, how it fits on the head. And the position of the ears, perfect, because as you can see, it sits right on the ear, right? And when I go in and do row 15, basically those swoops will stop right where the ears are. So this is what it's looking like so far. But yeah, I have so many things that I need to update. And it is sometimes a lot to manage because I'm really good creatively. Administratively, ugh, not a fan of that. You know, I just like creating. Every now and then I'll be like, oh, I need a manager. I need somebody that's going to kind of like lay out what, you know, more efficient ways to do this. Because I promise you, I'm just like, I love teaching it. I can do a whole lesson plan and all of that stuff. That aspect is really good. But the listings and the posts and the advertising and the email correspondence and all of that stuff becomes extremely tedious and overwhelming. But I'm getting there. Okay, so now that we have our 14, Emanuela, this is what you were inquiring about Friday, right? Row 15 of the wig cap. So for row 15 of the wig cap, it's just shell stitches, a series of shell stitches. So for the first 6 stitches, the first stitch is a single crochet. Second stitch is a half double crochet. And then on the third stitch, it's a double crochet and a treble crochet in the same space, right? And then the next stitch is a treble crochet and a double crochet in the same space. And that order matters because again, we're creating a shell stitch. And then half double again in the next one, and then a single crochet in the last one. And that is what creates this shell pattern. Can you see it? Very similar to how we do our ears and a few other things. And so basically that's in the first 6 stitches. And then the pattern says, repeat this shell stitch pattern 2 more times. So that means 2 more times we're going to do that same thing. And so that means in the next 12 stitches, you'll have 2 more shells. Is it making sense, Emanuela? And by the time you do that, you should have 3 shells. And these shells are pretty much just our swoops, you know. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, the way that I hate feeling congested. Oh, okay. Okay. I just want to make sure, because I know sometimes the way I write can be confusing. And not because I'm doing something crazy that's not crochet, but because of how I use crochet. You know, I'm not making up any stitches that don't exist. I'm not, and this is for people who have never actually done any of my patterns. Believe it or not, these are all actual crochet stitches. None of them are made up. Now, what is innovative is how I use them. I will say that. The way I use crochet stitches are very innovative, in that I use them in such a way where it mimics certain things, like the whole knee and elbow component. Those are stitches that exist at half the crochet. It's just how it's done that creates a certain look that I'm trying to achieve. Same thing with the hairstyles and so on. So, okay, so after I have my 3 small shell stitches, now I'm going to go to my bigger shell stitches. And what is it? Crochet. It's so funny sometimes, working on things that I've written, because I just always have this instinct to change stuff up while I'm doing it. And I have to remember sometimes, no, what you're doing is specific to what you're trying to get done. Like, meaning, don't change nothing up, because the point is for it to look like, what it's supposed to look like. If I change it up, it's gonna be something different, So there's always that aspect. Because for the most part, I really like just creating. But as I mentioned Friday, ever since 2018, I have been designing instead of just creating. I've been just, I've been writing down everything that, that I make, because it's just better that way, so that when I do something really, really cool that I like, I don't have to figure out or try to look and examine over and over how I did it. The information is readily there for me to just like, oh, okay. So that's one of the benefits of designing. Also, in order to maintain this business, the design component has become really, really key. I used to make a living just off of custom orders and ready-made to ship dolls. And now when I think about the fact that I sustained that for such a long time, it's a little bit crazy to even know that, oh shoot, I really, really was out here just out. I did career day last week, and one of the kids asked me, how many dolls did I make? And I thought it was the funniest thing, because of course, I don't know, but I do remember one year. And so you see the length of this sweet cap is kind of pushing up against the ears. So I'm going to move them forward a little bit, just to ensure that the wig cap is sitting comfortably in this space and not pushing too much against the ears, so that when I go to sew them on permanently, I don't have an issue. But we do not sit the wig cap on like a hat, because it's not a hat. Okay? We kind of have it like on the back of the head. And so, there we go. But I do remember, and I'm going to cut a long tail, because I'm also going to use this to attach the wig cap when it's time to attach it. So you can cut a long tail for now. We're just going to let it sit. I'm going to take the stitch marker out. But I remember one summer, well, the thing was I had custom orders and I was preparing for the Detroit Doll Show. I want to say from August, September, October, within a 3-month time period, I had made about 32 dolls in total. And the reason why that's such a big deal is because they were 32, 21 to 22 inch dolls. They weren't like these little, I think these are 15 inches. They were big dolls, and I made 32 of them because I had custom orders and I was preparing for the Detroit Doll Show. And it was a lot, and they were really good too, I'm gonna tell you. Out of that bunch came Penelope Pollen. I don't know if you all are familiar with Penelope Pollen, but that design was dope. The original one anyway. The updated version that you all do is different. And it's different in its design instruction, not necessarily the hair and all of the hair and everything is the same. But yeah, 32, and that was in that time span. That was that 1 year, that particular time. I remember I was just like, wow, that was crazy. But I don't know. I would have to go through my photos from 2013 all the way to 2025. And I can say, if I were to kind of guess how many dolls I've made over the years, I want to say like at least 300, somewhere along the 300 line, which is a lot for one person. It might be more than that. I don't know that it's a little, I don't believe that it's less than that. And then you have to consider, you know, crochet alongs. When I do crochet alongs, y'all know that for the crochet alongs, I'm usually doing 2 to 3 versions of it. In the case of this Crochet Together, y'all see there are 7 versions of it. So, but yes, we got wig cap, we got ears. Don't mind this long tail. I'm gonna use it to connect or attach this wig cap to this doll. Okay, with that being said, moving on to hair, right? Now, I'm not going to do hair here, because like I said, you all have your pattern, and since you have your pattern, you're going to choose what hairstyles you're doing for your doll. So let me ask you this. What hairstyles are we doing, guys? Have you figured out? Have you decided yet? I'm going to do the pony puff / banding technique for this one. But I've already we got buns. That's an option, which I think was really, really cute. Very, very, I feel like if you want to do a sophisticated version, if you want to be like, you know, I think the bun design is really cool. We have braids or locks, the 2 ponytails. That's tedious, but definitely worth it. The loose hair technique, which is another one, is kind of tedious, but really, really cute too. The textured afro puff, You're doing the long, loose ponytails, Beatrice. And here's the thing about the loose ponytails. You can do it loose like that, and then you can also, she has her clothes on, so I can't pull up for you, but you can style that. You can kind of do twists. Are you doing the braids, Nora? Okay. Um, what else? What else? The textured Afro puffs. I just love the textured Afro puffs. To me, it's classic. And here's another thing. I mean, it's not in the pattern, but you can use the pom-pom makers to make Afro puffs. If you want to just do something quick, you can use a pom-pom maker and just do a regular Afro puffs, the basic Afro puffs. You don't necessarily have to do any of the 5 options. There are other options. You're doing braids, Daphne? Say you haven't decided yet. And then here's another thing. If you really want to get ambitious, you can, if you are My Kind of Thing University student and you're feeling like, you know what, let me just do a thing, right? What you can do is you can combine techniques. You can maybe do a bun on the top and loose braids on the bottom, or loose hair on the bottom. You can maybe give like braids on the side and maybe like textured Afro puffs. If you are My Kind of Thing University student, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see you not just use what the instructions say, but maybe incorporate something else just for the cute of it, you know? So you can definitely have that option, right? With all of these wonderful techniques that we've been learning over the years together. But yeah, it's cool. I kind of narrowed down, okay, the cornrows thing. You want to add bangs to the front? That's the thing. You can absolutely do that. I think it's so dope. And here's another thing. Even though the design is 2 ponytails, you don't have to do 2. You can just do 1. You know, there's so many ways that you can do this design. So, thank you. There's so many ways that you can do it. And I think I'm excited to see how you all do it. You know, I'm excited to see how you, the different ways that you combine your color combinations. You know, I love the brown sugar skin tone with the fudge drizzle hair, but then I also love the fudge drizzle skin tone with the dragon glass hair, all of that stuff. So you know, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how you all do it. You know, what colors you use, because that's the cool thing about this. Even though we're all crocheting the same things together, right? They're gonna all be really, really different in their own way. I love the different accessories. I'm over here now deciding because, you know, she's a rainbow design. I have to now figure out her flowers, if I'm going to change colors for the petals, what kind of earrings she's going to have, you know, those other little appliques. But for now, we're done on this Sunday afternoon, right? Almost evening. You can finish your wig cap and ears and hair. And you don't have to decide on the hair today. You could probably, like, you know, and a lot of times what I do is I do everything and then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna do the hair. But I'm gonna off camera do the other arm, and I'm gonna do the pieces for the hair. Because I don't know how many pony puff components she's gonna have. I don't know how long I want the pony puffs to be, so I have to still decide on that. But I'm excited about it. You all have been wonderful. Our next part 4 is Friday. I want to change my order, so do I just cancel and reorder? What do you mean change it? You want to change the colors? Because if you want to change the colors, you don't have to cancel the order. All you have to do is message me. No, thank you for always supporting Zay. We always have such a good time. Sorry that I've been under the weather and sniffing and blowing my nose on camera, but we're going to get better. Um, did you have a color request that you changed your mind about the color? Because all you have to do is send the message in the shop, and usually we can change it according to that. If that's what you are trying to do, you don't have to cancel the order. You can just modify it via message. Thank you. The textured apropos hooked me on first sight and brought back anyone. Yeah, listen, I love, one of the things that I am most proud about, one of the things that I'm absolutely extremely proud about is I'm proud that I am able to, through crochet, through this really cool art form, share and teach crochet. Share and teach how diverse we are. Share and teach techniques to mimic real hairstyles. So these fruit flies, they're in and out of here sometimes. But thank you all so much, as usual, for always. Is that? Got them. Fruit flies kill me. But thank y'all so much for participating. And we'll be back here Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do part 4, which will be the accessories, the clothing accessories. Well, which rows do you suggest the wig cap be placed? There is no suggested row. What you want is you want it to be fixed a certain way, because the wig cap doesn't sit like a hat. So there's no way for me to be like, oh, when you get to this row, it's none of that. It really is a visual positioning. You want to, using the ears as a place for where you want your swoops to stop. You see how this goes, and then the ear starts right where this tucks in, and then right behind the ear, the next shell starts. That's what you want to do. There's no set way or row for the wig cap to sit over, because again, if you're not using the same yarn, that changes. If your tension is different, that changes. There's no real way for me to be like, okay, on this row, because the other thing is that it doesn't sit like a hat. So it basically is a matter of you positioning and pinning it to how you want it to look. I like to have it positioned, like, even as you can see, that swoop in the back goes all the way to like up under the head, like right before the neck starts. And so that positioning is just a matter of preference. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to put it on like a hat, because you cut off half of the surface space for the face, and you leave little to no room for eyes and lashes and eyebrows and noses. This design, I didn't give a mouth because I just couldn't narrow down what kind and what size, and it's very little surface space. So you just want to make sure that the wig cap doesn't go all the way down where she doesn't have a forehead, or she doesn't have any place for you to place her eyes, and so you want to create enough space for her to still have her face, her eyes, her nose, her eyebrows, and you don't want her eyebrows to be sitting in her wig cap. Everybody's clothes. I put everybody in their clothes because we're moving. But yeah, play with it. Pin your ears in place, and then you move it around and position it. If you find that it's loose or baggy or something, maybe depending on the kind of yarn you use, you don't need 14 rows. Maybe you only need 13 rows, and then, you don't need 15 rows. Maybe you need 14 rows. Maybe you need to take a row off. Depending on the yarn you're using, depending on your tension, maybe you need to add a row. But based on the pattern and the type of yarn that I use, by the 14th row, it's sitting in a position, oh yeah, and you know what? Yeah, so just play with it, Emanuela. Dr. Felicia Williams Jackson, I sent yours, and I remember you told me you didn't have a preference for skin tone and hair color, so I'm really excited about the skin tone and hair color that I sent you, because I think that combination is going to look really good with the purple that you requested, the fairy berry. But anyway, thank you all so much for once again participating and being a part of the My Kind of Thing University Made Imbali Crochet Together. And let me know, give me some feedback, write in the comments if there's some more things that you want to see. And we're doing this, we're really doing this. We are on YouTube and we're doing this. In the meantime, y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, enjoy your holiday weekend, and I will see you all Friday.